Hey there, my name is Anthony Taylor. I'm the CEO at SME Strategy, and today I want to talk to you about having a stakeholder management plan, why it's critical, and why you should consider making one for your organization. So as we create strategic plans with organizations and support the implementation of them, so whether or not you have a strategic plan, your organization is heading somewhere. And your organization is heading somewhere with people. It's probably with internal people like your staff, and it's probably external people like your customers. And within those two buckets or groups of people, there's people that are called stakeholders, people that are interested in what you do, why you do it, and who, for lack of a better word, give a shit. Now, some of those people, again, might be internal stakeholders. Some of those people are external stakeholders, and they have a certain amount of influence or a certain amount of interest on what you do. So in certain organizations, let's say you're a for-profit organization, you might have your board of directors if you have a board of directors, and they might be a stakeholder group. You might have your senior managers, they might be a stakeholder group. You might have your middle managers as a stakeholder group. You might have frontline employees as a stakeholder group. You might have key suppliers or key vendors as a stakeholder group. You might have the general public as a stakeholder group because you have to keep them happy or whatever. You have your actual clients as a stakeholder group and so on and so forth. Now, why do you think I'm going through the time of outlining all of those different groups of people? Well, it's because you're going to interact and engage with all of those people differently. You're not going to manage, communicate, engage with your middle managers the same way you would as your frontline or your senior managers or your board. You won't manage your key customers, your top 5 or 10%, the same way you do with your bottom 5 or 10%. So why I say this is because for you as a manager, for you as an owner, for you as an executive team member, you have limited time, money, energy to focus your team, to get buy-in and to communicate effectively. And for you to communicate effectively, you need to know where you should strategically place your time, money, energy, resources for the most amount of impact. Now, I haven't talked about nonprofits or mission-based organizations, but the same is basically true. There's a benefit to listing all of your different stakeholders or stakeholder groups and creating a communication structure or an engagement structure with them. That way, you make sure that the people who have the most interest in what you're doing are getting the right amount of attention and right amount of information. And the people who have a lot of power or influence on what you're doing are getting the right amount of support, engagement, communication, and so on. Now, if you do not create a stakeholder list or a list of all the key people in your organization, you risk under communicating with some key people, you risk over communicating, wasting time, money, and energy, and ultimately underperforming in terms of, engaging the people that are most important to your business. So as you go through your strategic planning for 2023, and as you look at the key communications that you have, both within your organization, top down, bottom up, and then outside of your organization, I encourage you to think of it from a stakeholder management perspective or a key account perspective to make sure that you're serving the right people the right amount of ways. This could be supported within your regular strategic plan, cascading the plan. It could be done from a sales approach, trying to strategically do account management. It could be considering a change management approach. Anytime you're putting new changes, who are the people that are going to support the change moving forward? Who are the people that are going to resist it? There's a bunch of different use cases for a stakeholder mapping exercise, and the results might be different depending on what changes, what initiatives you're moving forward. So anytime you can better map your key stakeholders, the more effective you're going to be with your communications. And ultimately, as a leader, that's the name of the game. So if you're interested in learning more about stakeholder engagement, how to do it, why to do it, check out some of our blogs on SME Strategy. If you are wanting to build a strategic plan for 2023 and looking for some more structure to make sure you get the right people at the table, please let us know. One of the things we do regularly as a company are stakeholder engagement sessions. So when organizations want to get their key stakeholders to the table to hear their perspective, to understand what's going on from them, and have it from a neutral third party that isn't invested in the outcome. what we do is we facilitate a meeting. We make sure that we hear their perspectives, get the information that they really want to get across, so that then the organization can really understand what's important to them and act accordingly. It's tremendously useful when you're trying to move forward an important vision or transformational goal. Even from an operations perspective, it's critical to know where your stakeholders are at, because they have a lot of power and influence. And if they're happy, then you're going to be able to move your organization forward successfully. So reach out to us, SMEstrategy.net. Comment below if you've got any tips and tricks for better stakeholder engagement. And I appreciate you watching. I hope you have a fantastic rest of the year, and cheers to your 2023 strategy creation and implementation. See you soon.